Well, former President Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. His office says the cancer is characterized by a Gleason score of 9 with metastasis to the bone. Now we're learning he's discussing different forms of treatment options with his doctors and family.
And the announcement came out yesterday, but the former president putting out a post on X this morning saying, quote, "Cancer touches us all. Like so many of you, Jill and I have learned that we are strongest in the broken places. Thank you for lifting us up with love and support." End quote. We're bringing out Dr. Frank Contacessa, an internist at Custom Care Medical. Dr. Frank, always great to see you, and thank you so much for coming on this topic here. And a difficult one for the Biden family to receive this diagnosis, and obviously moving forward with that Gleason score of 9, and it goes 1 to 10, by the way. So if you can explain where this is, what treatment would look like, what would be expected now that we've seen this cancer spread to his bones, as we've heard per that statement, Doctor.
Well, nice to be with you guys this morning. And again, sad news for the president, former president, and we all wish him well. There's a lot to unpack with whatever they have released so far. The Gleason score that you mentioned of 9 does indicate an aggressive form. The Gleason score comes from a biopsy. So this was actually tissue that they got from a biopsy taken. And the Gleason score comes from that. And it shows that there's an aggressive form, and which has already spread and metastasized to his bones, which is the most common place for prostate cancer to spread. The one piece of good news here is that it does seem to be hormone sensitive. And the hormone they're talking about here is testosterone. Testosterone often fuels prostate cancer. It makes it grow faster. It makes it more aggressive. So if you can block that testosterone, and there are several drugs that can do it, there's injections, there's some pills, you can often slow the progression. So I can say this, almost certainly, it's very unlikely that this will be cured, because once gets into the bones the way it has, you can't really get rid of those cancer cells. But you can slow the progression and extend life quite a bit with these hormone blockers that may or may not be combined with something like radiation. It really kind of depends on the personal choices. There's surgery, there's radiation, but I think the mainstay of the treatment for the former president will be the testosterone blocking therapy.
Okay. He's 82 right now. And again, according to the statement, this was on Friday that he was diagnosed with the cancer. And this is obviously a very different, unfortunate diagnosis compared to the last time we heard publicly what the president underwent with the doctor. The White House doctor declared then President Biden completely fit for duty when he went for his annual physical in 2024. Doctor, is this maybe something that wasn't tested at the time to explain why now it's gotten so bad in what seems to be, I guess, a shorter period of time?
I have to say, I think it's unlikely that they would have missed it. If they did miss it, it's a pretty big miss. Men of this age are routinely screened for prostate cancer either through the PSA blood test, which is not perfect, but it's a pretty good test, or the digital rectal exam. I would guess that he probably had both. In addition, people who get levels of exams like this, or the presidential type of an exam, would probably have had some imaging, either a CT or an MRI, where you would have picked something like this up. So there are multiple modalities that could have and should have picked this up. So I think the likelihood that this came out of nowhere is small, particularly since the time for progression to the time that it gets into the bones, this is not a brand new diagnosis, in my opinion. I think they've probably known about this for a while.
Yeah, and again,